Hi, Chris here. I'm a doctor and I'd like to summarise a book for you. The Wealth Dragon Way. The Why, the When and the How to Become Infinitely Wealthy by John Lee and Vincent Wong. So firstly, let me ask you something. What makes people without money look at people with money and feel resentful? The book would suggest the first thing you want to do if you are aiming to make money is to challenge your beliefs. If this is your belief, deal with it immediately. Remove negative connotations towards money. If you become as rich as possible, then you have more control and potentially more ability to do good. This book is written by two UK-based businessmen whom both descended from Hong Kong, and they've established their own property empire, then a successful business teaching others to replicate this. And they've kind of merged into a bit of motivational speaking as well. And the book is referring to wealth as both financial wealth, i.e. money, and personal wealth in terms of their overall well-being. So you don't actually need university degrees to become wealthy. These things can help, but what you do need is the ability to take action, often stepping outside your comfort zone and taking deliberate action. There's the typical motivational stuff such as fear is simply false evidence appearing real, and that your life's short, so don't waste it being fearful, go out and try. It suggests actually trying a whole day being fearless as an experiment, and then would suggest that actually that would change your life forever. We're tending to suffocate ourselves with obsessions about what other people think of us, and half the time we're actually projecting our thoughts onto the other people, and we don't know. We can try and interpret facial expressions, can do this wrongly at times, but we can't read minds. So we should really be more afraid of rational things that we actually know about, rather than things we're speculating may or may not be happening. Very much this book is like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. In fact, the first 10 chapters have basically the same content, in which we're all trapped in a Monday to Friday rat race, in which we shouldn't rely on our state pension, because that can dwindle. And if you're wanting to get rich using this book, you could just skip to chapter 11, because that's when it actually starts telling you about what you can do to start making more money. Firstly is investing in yourself. You're the most important asset, and that's slightly different from just getting university degrees. This is about deliberate investment in things that would help you achieve your financial goals. The concept of infinite wealth is not actually just a figure on a balance sheet or a static measure of your net worth. It's a state of mind, and it's an acceptance that you can have financial abundance, and there's nothing holding you back, and it's a knowledge knowing that you can make more money if you desire. There's no limit to the wealth that you can acquire and create, because obviously banks just print money anyway. Money is a concept that helps people purchase things, but people can just make more money. So don't limit yourself. To learn more, you need to find your best teacher. And to find your best teacher, you may have to pay them. So don't be afraid to invest money in yourselves. Do remember, however, the two authors sell wealth investment courses, so take what they write with a pinch of salt. There's a nice saying though about you have to learn before you earn, and think of the L plates coming off a car, and that's when you can start earning. The main way of earning money, unsurprisingly, as these are property investors, is to invest in property. One of the benefits of that over stocks and shares is you can use other people's money to invest in property. So you can get a mortgage and you can then make an investment, whereas nobody would give you a mortgage for stocks and shares. Ideally, you want to be a property investor, and to do this, the critical thing is to purchase at below market value. If you're a property speculator, then you're buying something hoping in future it's worth more. If you're a property developer, you're buying something hoping to build on it to make a profit. But a property investor, when they actually buy something, they make money there and then. So how do you do this? Well, you need to look for property that's being sold for less than value. And this suggests dealing directly with the buyer. You may think, okay, you've got somebody who's no longer got property, they've handed it to the bank, why not just deal directly with the bank? Well, several reasons. Firstly, apparently if a property's been handed back to the bank and somebody's defaulted on payments, that puts a black mark against that property's value and it's worth very slightly less. More importantly though, with a bank, you're just dealing with somebody who is not in any way emotionally tied to the property, so purely just wants to make as much money as they can. So then you're faced with, okay, well, the real estate agent. The book suggests that by the time it's got to the real estate agent, then it's not undervalued. And the difficulty here is that a real estate agent could siphon off deals themselves. Whether they're allowed to or not, who knows? But so to do this, you can establish yourself as somebody who would buy property quickly and deal directly with the potential seller. So you need to think, why would somebody be in an urgent position to sell? Book mentions quite a few reasons. Obviously, losing a job, for example, divorce, perhaps somebody has been bereaved and just wants to leave that house and get somewhere else. And if you think, well, what can I do? So the idea is to find out what is their priority. It may be they only need a set amount of money within a very tight time frame. Then perhaps you could give a partial payment. You may even be able to purchase the property from them and keep them living there if they're going to pay rent. There are other things that you can explore. So it isn't then just about money. Then you've got the time frame, and you could say, well, I'll do it in a certain time, but then you'd get less money. The book also does mention about how if you give people too much, then they will just perhaps take advantage of you, and mentions a deal that went wrong in which somebody was having their house repossessed. He purchased this, he had a similar setup so the person could rent and stay in there. They then defaulted on their rent as well, and 3 years later they'd lost a lot of money. One of the key things about this property business is if you have many different properties, then your risk is less. So if you've got 20 properties and one person's defaulting, that's very different from having one property and your tenant defaults. The book mentioned another example in which somebody had they needed to sell their house, but they wanted to stay in it. And in essence, a deal was conjured up where they said, well, you can stay there for free, but if you renovate it, it was a builder he had let it to. And then the story wound up that he kept doing the renovations, and then the builder then eventually got divorced from his partner, so this chap then had his house freely renovated. So think a bit about outside the box and think how you can offer somebody else a solution to their problems. This book just contains several wider tips about life, and that would include things like if you live in chaos, your business is bound to be in chaos, or if you're in the habit of cutting corners in one aspect of your life, you're likely to cut corners in another aspect of your life. It does, however, have a nice motivational theme throughout, so I'll end with this. Everyone's journey in life is unique. Evolution is progression. It's about talking what's gone on before and making it better. The point of your life is to keep improving, keep growing, doing things better. And the nice final saying I'll end with is that your network is your net worth. So if you're wanting to be a property developer, you'll need to a property investor, need to get the terminology right. You really need to establish a good network so that you can obtain these undervalued properties. Obviously, none of that's financial advice, but if you want to think about getting financially free, that's an interesting book to read. If you've already read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you may not gain much from it. So tell me what you think. Please comment below, please like, subscribe, and I shall enjoy seeing you next time.